Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the internet, good morning. Happy Thursday to you. It's Coach Kyle coming to you live on Thursday in the morning, doing the things, doing the show, ready to get your daily checkup from the neck up. Guys, I'm excited to be here. We've had a fun week, man. We've done negotiations, and yesterday we talked about suggestions versus standards. And today we're gonna continue on our path of growth here, man. For those of you who don't know me, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Constellation Home Sales Expansion Network, Maps Coach, Bold Coach, all the things, and love pouring into you in the morning to get you set up, man. Get you going down the right direction, get you ready to do all the things. And today we went hard yesterday. You know, we told it like it is. We were maybe punching from the heart a little bit. So today, man, I figured we'd lighten it up a little bit. Today, what I'm going to do is I've got about 8 to 10 things, 10 quotes, 10 lines I want to share and then dive into in some different subjects and help you guys kind of maybe reframe the day, maybe lift you up a little bit and see if we can make today a really, really good one, man. Let's start in the area of sales. So here's one that I love for you to start chewing on. I think we get this wrong a lot. People don't buy products, they buy better versions of themselves. People don't buy products, they buy better versions of themselves. How does this pertain to you? Guys, people don't buy salespeople. People don't buy agents. People don't choose agents. They choose people who are going to help them become or create or achieve better versions of themselves. You've heard me say this once. You've heard me say it a million times. What story are you crafting? Is it one where you're the hero or the client's the hero? Guys, you have to start crafting your pitch to how you are going to help them achieve a better version of themselves. Talk about transformation. Talk about the transition. Talk about what happens to them on the other side. In real estate, you're not selling a home. You're selling peace. You're selling possibility. You're selling pride. Or sometimes, guys, we're selling escape. Let me say that again because I think this is pretty foundational. We're not selling a home. We're selling peace. We're selling possibility. We're selling pride. Or sometimes we may be selling escape. Write that down, man. Start thinking about the messaging that you're sending to your clients. Every conversation matters. One conversation is not going to change the course of someone's life, and yet one conversation can change the course of someone's life. It can also change the course of if they choose to work with you or not. So in the back of your mind, you have to always be answering the question, what is in it for this person? Is it peace? Is it possibility? Is it pride? Or is it escape? You have to be the deliverer, the deliverer of that product. Guys, number 2 this morning talking about sales, and I love this one. And again, I think we get this one wrong all the time. So please look in your marketing materials, look at your messaging, look at your social media, look at your website, and think about this next line. A confused mind always says no. A confused mind always says no. Said another way, and you've heard this in the bold room, clarity is power. Is your messaging clear? Is there a clear objective? Is there a clear problem-solving technique? What are you offering? Sometimes I'll look at real estate agents' websites and I'm like, I don't even know what you do. It's pretty, it feels good, but I couldn't begin to tell you what you actually accomplish for me, the client, anything. So, is our messaging clear? Because the truth of the matter is, a confused mind always says no. When we confuse, we lose. I talk about this in the bowl room, especially around listing packets and buyer consultations. You should have no more than 10 steps in the process. No more than 10 because you confuse them. And if you confuse, you lose. They may not even say that they're confused. In fact, they more often than not will not say that because they don't want to look dumb. People want to look good and be right. So make sure, go back this week, man, in your planning time. What is your messaging saying? Is it concise? Is it clear? Are you confusing? We say this in the speaking world. Instead of saying blah, 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 can you say blah instead? Something to think about. This next one, man, I put on here because it popped up in a coaching conversation yesterday. Lead generation will make you money. Follow up will make you a fortune. Lead generation will make you money, but follow up will make you a fortune. How strong is your follow up game? And this one stood out to me in the conversation and made me start to really reconsider or go back and make 1% better. How is our systematic approach to follow up? Because a lot of times agents are mediocre at follow up. They're decent. They're doing an okay job. And one of the reasons they're doing an okay job is because they don't have a system or a process behind it. What do I mean by that? I mean, at 10:30 on Tuesday, are you following up with all of your hot buyers? At 11 o'clock on Wednesday, are you following up with all of your hot sellers? At 9 a.m. on Thursday, are you following up with all of your listings? Asking for business, checking in on the process. What is your follow up game? Guys, the magic we're looking for is usually in the work we're avoiding. A lot of us, when we first start, we do a really good job of follow up because we're hungry, because we're excited, because we don't know any better, because we haven't been jaded by a bunch of no's or people leaving or people choosing something else or someone else or not listing. We follow up like a wolf with their ears pinned back. Guys, how is your follow up game right now? Are you doing it entrepreneurially or are you doing it purposefully? Do you have systematic processes in place? Do you know that if someone is going to buy a home within 45 days, how many times you're going to touch them a week? When you're going to touch them a week? Is it texting? Is it calling? Is it emailing? Is there a drip campaign that you can assign for each person so they don't slip through the cracks? This is day one stuff. And yet, most of us, because it's day one stuff, we skip it or miss it or forget about it in our businesses now. We get so caught up in busyness, we forget about the simple, fundamental business tactics that actually create something worth owning. So remember, the fortune is in the follow up. Moving from sales into mindset now, cruising through this morning checkup from the neck up. Here you go. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Discipline is choosing from what you want now and what you want most. I think almost everybody falls into this trap a lot. Hey, man, this goes back to the suggestions versus standards. Who are you? Are you giving up your forever business for right now satisfaction? What do I mean by that? Well, myself included. Hey, man, I might be a little tired, might have a little low energy, might not feel like doing something, so I'm just going to punt until the next day. But the truth of the matter is, I'm robbing from future me. We have to understand that discipline is choosing what I want most and sacrificing what I may want right now. Are you looking to win the war? Or are you looking to just win a battle? Don't overlook these things in your life, man. Don't overlook these things on this Thursday. Are you taking the time to build something that is going to last, that is going to grow? Or are you just trying to make it through the day? Guys, this quote right here just always lives rent free in my head. And anytime I come up to a barrier or an obstacle or a friction point, it just sounds off like an alarm. You cannot solve a problem with the same mindset that created it. Albert Einstein said that. You cannot solve a problem with the same mind that created it. What does that mean? It means that maybe you're missing a who. Maybe you're missing a coach. Maybe you're missing a mentor. Maybe you're missing an accountability person to look onto your business. Maybe you're missing a force multiplier. Maybe you're missing someone in your organization. Because here's the truth of the matter, and this took a long time to understand, and now I run towards it and lean into it all the time. There are people who do things better than you. There are people who think differently than you. And sometimes it takes another set of eyes or another skill set to achieve greatness. Guys, a problem cannot be solved in the same mindset that it was created in. If you if you continue having a problem in your business and in your life, have you looked into a who or a system or a process or someone who can help you grow out of it? Or are you going to continue to let your ego keep you stuck in the same operating system that you just cling to? Guys, sometimes we cling to mediocrity instead of our true greatness because it's comfortable, it's safe. Just got these questions for you, man, on this Thursday. Guys, moving into motivation here. On the same thread we were just talking about, comfort is the enemy of progress. Again, this came up in a coaching conversation. It's hard. I'm going to get tired and stressed and overloaded. But by the way, any muscle, psychological or physical, it takes stress on the system to get stronger. Comfort is the enemy of progress. By the way, does stress on a system feel good? No, it doesn't. If we were sitting with the master of the universe looking to create the perfect human being, and we said, hey, man, we want to make them strong, are we going to be like, yeah, but let's not give them any problems to overcome? No. We're probably going to say, hey, let's throw all the problems at them so they can learn to overcome them, so they can get strong on the way. If we're like, hey, man, let's make someone, I want someone who's patient, who's just super patient. Would we be like, hey, let's give them everything they want when they want it? No. We would probably say something like, let's make them work harder and wait longer to truly understand the grasp and the depth of patience. Guys, comfort is the enemy of progress. Number, whatever number, but this is one of my favorite ones, and it sticks again rent free in my mind. Be so good that they can't ignore you. Be so good that they can't ignore you. Here's the beauty of this. When you get there, they can't ignore you. Here's the tough thing of this. It takes a whole lot of work in the dark for people to see the results in the light. To be so good that they can't ignore you, clients, family, friends, your sphere, to be so good that they can't ignore you, it takes a ton of reps when no one's looking. It takes a ton of practice when no one's looking. It takes just an unshakable resolve, putting in the time, putting in the hours. Everybody wants the prize. Not a lot of people are willing to pay the price. Will you choose on this Thursday, March 27th morning, to start adopting the mindset of being so good that they can't ignore you? If you're a buyer's agent, do you know your consultation backwards and forwards blindfolded Do you know how to implement that consultation with different personality types? Do you know how to implement that consultation with people with different experience levels? Are you so good that they can't ignore you? Do you have checklists that you follow? Systematic processes so nothing ever skips in the gaps? Are you answering questions that you know are coming before they even have them? Are you always ending with this is what happens next? Guys, are you adopting the mindset of being so good that they can't ignore you? Remember, good is the enemy of great. And I'll leave you with this last one here. You were not born to be lukewarm. You were not born to be lukewarm. You weren't. Somewhere along the way, a lot of times we can slip into it because it's hard to burn bright. It is. But you were born for that. And I want you to remind yourself of that. We're going to get tired. We're going to get stressed. We're going to get overloaded. Things aren't going to go our way. Cool. You were not born to be lukewarm in this business. You didn't get in this business. The majority of us, there are a few people, but the majority of us didn't get in this business to be mediocre. We didn't get in this business to be lukewarm. We got in this business for a reason, for a purpose, for a passion, for profit. It's not going to be easy. When it comes time to follow those standards instead of those suggestions, I want you to remember that you were not born to be lukewarm. Guys, Coach Kyle coming to you on a Thursday, just dropping some little nuggets, some things to think about, some ways to get 1% better. I trust that at least one of these things stood out to you and gave you something to ponder on, gave you something to think about. Remember, experience not reflected upon is basically worthless. Take some notes today. Figure out what's one of these things you could focus on, and then spend some time, 30 minutes to an hour, figuring out where you're going to implement it and what you're going to do about it. It is time for us to continue, if we're already on the journey, and if we're not, start moving from amateurs to professionals, moving from good to great, and continuing on this journey. Guys, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Let's grow together and let's keep going. And let's remember that we were not born to be lukewarm. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's go make it a good one.